Are you looking for the best phones for gaming? In this video we will look at some of the best phones for gaming on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. ASUS ROG Phone 7. The 165Hz AMOLED screen was also impressive in our testing. It features very high touch sampling, 720Hz, so you can't complain about input lag in competitive games. The main problem here is support from games. ASUS threw in a ton of great features like auto-capturing highlights or displaying on-screen alerts using AI, but few games support them. Likewise for anything above 60 FPS. Thankfully, the refresh rate can be reduced to 60, 90, 120, or 144 Hz in settings, on a per-game basis, to boot, and automatically lowers to 30 Hz for the always-on display to save battery. Speaking of battery, this thing packs two 3,000 mAh batteries for a massive 6,000 mAh overall capacity. This lasted for well over a day in our testing, and there's a 65W charging brick in the box that should charge to full in roughly 42 minutes. There's no wireless charging here, which we suspect is due to the nature of the enhanced cooling system within the phone. Number 2. ASUS ROG Phone 7 Ultimate. Level up your gameplay even further with the ROG Phone 7 Ultimate from ASUS with the exclusive ROG Vision rear display, unique colorway, aeroactive portal cooling and bundled aeroactive cooler accessory, and more. The ROG Phone 7 isn't the latest in ASUS gaming lineup, but it's easily the one we recommend for most people. Not only does it have all the great gaming-specific features you'd expect from a gaming phone, but it also performs well in other tasks. Most other gaming phones have glaring weaknesses, but this one is a fantastic all-around device. It's also one of the very few phones with a 3.5mm headphone jack. The biggest gaming feature here is the hardware shoulder buttons, called triggers. These are located where your fingers rest when holding the device in landscape, and use ultrasonic sensors to perform a similar task to triggers on a console controller. However, we were a bit disappointed that they don't give that satisfying click that gaming controllers have. Thankfully, you can get clicky triggers by picking up the all-new Aeroactive Cooler 7 accessory, which also helps cool the phone. It also has a pass-through headphone jack and a subwoofer. Number 3. Nubia RedMagic 8 Pro. The Nubia RedMagic 8 Pro ticks all the same boxes as other dedicated gaming phones, but at a much more accessible price. If you want raw performance at bargain prices, the Nubia RedMagic 8 Pro is worth a look. It sacrifices a lot when it comes to software features and support, but the hardware is more than capable of extreme gaming. Like other gaming phones, the RedMagic 8 Pro puts a heavy emphasis on cooling. It pairs 12 or 16 GB of RAM with the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 as the ROG Phone 7 series, and in our benchmark tests it nearly matched ASUS best. That means it outperformed the Galaxy S23 Ultra by a sizable margin while costing hundreds of dollars less. The rest of the specs largely match the ROG Phone 7, with a massive 6,000 mAh battery, 65W charging, super-fast storage, and capacitive triggers. The 120Hz AMOLED screen is still plenty speedy, and again, not many games will support framerates above 60 FPS anyway. Cameras aren't great on any gaming phones we've tested, so it should come as no surprise that the RedMagic 8 Pro isn't a great camera phone. In fact, the under-display camera is downright awful, although it does allow for an uninterrupted bezel-less display while gaming. The overall build quality is decent, and Nubia has packed the phone with a few interesting gaming features. They aren't on the same level as ASUS Armoury Crate, but it's a nice start. Number 4. Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Powered by the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 as the smaller models in the series, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra offers larger storage capacities and a whopping 200MP camera. S Pen support and a 6.8-inch display make the Ultra ideal for note-takers on the go. Moving out of dedicated gaming phone territory, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is a powerhouse that will satisfy any mobile gamer's needs. It doesn't have shoulder buttons, but it does take a page out of the Galaxy Notes book with a built-in S Pen. This can come in handy for strategy games that require precise tapping. We loved the new grippy texture of the latest S Pen, and it stows away safely in the phone itself. Apart from that, this phone really does have it all. It's easily among the best Android phones you can buy, earning our pick for the best premium Android phone outside of Samsung's own foldables. The massive 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display is gorgeous and perfect for games, although it's not suited for one-handed use. Playing games in landscape should be fine, but if you're coming from a smaller phone there will be a learning curve. Speaking of which, the curved display will also take some getting used to if you want to avoid unwanted taps. Number 5. Poco F4 GT. The Poco F4 GT is a gaming phone that costs a lot less than some of its rivals. It comes with a large display, a high-end chipset, and shoulder triggers for an improved gaming experience. Want a cheap gaming phone? The Poco F4 GT is a fantastic option, but only for those outside of the US. It has a lot of flagship specs for a €599 phone, but you are sacrificing long-term update support. Starting with specs, you're getting the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor found in phones that cost $200 to $300 more. In our testing, we found it can go toe-to-toe with the Galaxy S22 Ultra, although it ran hot without the enhanced thermals found in more expensive gaming phones. We did, however, love the retractable shoulder buttons. They provide nice feedback, and can be mapped to on-screen virtual buttons via the Game Turbo side menu. The speedy 120Hz performed well during our review period, although it isn't exactly anything special compared to the rest of Xiaomi's non-gaming mid-range lineup. You can switch between 60Hz and 120Hz to save battery, which is great because battery life was just average at around 6 hours in our testing. Thankfully, the 120W charging topped it back off in 17 minutes flat.